Hello and welcome to the Windows 10 crash course. In this video, we're going to be giving you an overview of the all-new Edge browser within Windows 10. So Windows 10 has an all-new built browser, Edge, and Edge is supposed to take advantage of a lot of the great new features within Windows 10. It's supposed to integrate nicely with things like Cortana, your personal assistant, and we'll talk more about that in the Cortana featured video. However, Edge browser is one of the new default apps within Windows 10, and it's kind of a staple of Windows 10. So we're going to be overviewing it, showing you how to navigate the interface, how you can browse with it, and some of the new features packed into it. So let's jump into Windows. So here we are, we have the Edge browser open. Keep in mind it's going to be by default the E or the former Internet Explorer icon will be the Edge browser here in your taskbar when you're on Windows 10, and you're going to be presented with a start menu. So this is going to integrate directly with, of course, your Microsoft account or the account that you're signed in with. Now, the start page when you open up the browser is essentially an overview of kind of everything that's kind of going on. So first off, you have your search or the ability to enter your web address here, and you'll notice if you scroll down, it integrates it nicely into the actual web browser. So it's very, very minimal now compared to the previous Internet Explorer browser. Edge does a really great job of cleaning up the interface, speeding up performance. There's a lot of obviously things under the hood technically that make it a faster browser and have much more support, especially for like touchscreen interfaces on tablets. It really has been built from the ground up here. Now, that in mind, you have your account synced into here, of course. You have the ability to customize this whole thing here. So this feed essentially will show you the latest news that's kind of going on in the world, but you also get things that you can overview. So for example, you can see the weather in your area, you can see sports scores, and some other things like news articles from around the world from different sources. Now, that can all be customized right here. If you just click on the Customize button, you can adjust things like your language. You can choose some of your favorite topics. So let's say news and money. You can adjust some of these right here so they'll appear at the top of your feed, and you can hit save, and then it'll auto adjust that here so it's more tailored to you and what you want to see essentially. Now from here you have, of course, the general interface. You have your tabs at the very top. Again, your search bar will integrate here when you're browsing the web. So you have your search bar, you have the ability to go back and forth, refresh your page. You have the ability to see your hub. Think of your hub as literally a collection of everything when it relates to the web. Your favorites, you have your, so you can import favorites here. You have also the ability to see your reading list. So this is really great. You can star articles for reading them later. Very useful if like you just don't have time to finish a certain article and you want to get back to it. It's sort of like a reminder to come back to it. You have your history, of course, so you can see the history of your browser and your download history. So everything that you've downloaded in the past will be accessible here. So again, just a collection of everything on the web for your favorites and bookmarks to your downloads. These three dots are your more actions, so this is kind of where they hide everything else. You can open up a new window here if you want to separate a new window. Of course, a new in-private window, so this is for private browsing. No data is stored at all as far as browser history or anything of that nature, so you can turn that on if you need to browse incognito essentially. Your zoom, ability to find on a page, print, pin to start. Developer tools, you can open it with Internet Explorer here. So this is where it gets a little bit confusing. So for example, if I'm on a page here and I want to open it with Internet Explorer, you can open it with the default browser. So here is Internet Explorer. Edge, in a sense, is a new browser in the modern sense of like it's a integrated browser within Windows 10, but Internet Explorer still does exist. So as far as which one you want to use, it really comes down to personal preference. Windows 10 offers both of them, obviously, and it gives you the ability to open up within Internet Explorer. Edge was built based off of, the Internet Explorer in the sense to replace and improve upon certain things. So, for example, like tablet mode and collecting information on the web, content consumption device. Edge does a much better job of that because of some of the new features built in. So, for example, one of those new features, here I am on USA Today. Let's go ahead and full screen this. Is this ability to make a web node. So web nodes is one of the big things that Edge introduces to the browsing game, and it allows you to write on the web essentially. So you can annotate the web. So let's say I want to click on this. I now have a couple tools here. In the top left, I have a pen, I have a highlighter, eraser, I have the ability to add a type note, clips. This is really great for directly, customizing web pages and adding subtle like notes or information, especially if you're studying something or you just want to get, some information from a specific article. So let's go ahead and actually exit this and click on an article. So let's click on this article. Let's go ahead and just scroll through here, and we'll click on one of the articles here and let it load. So one of the articles here is loading here. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and click on the icon again, and then now I can start to annotate the web. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a color here, and so we have the pen tool enabled here. So with the pen tool here, what I can do now is I can start to draw with this pen tool. So again, I selected the color. You can even adjust the dot size and things of that nature. So now that I have that pen tool selected, I can go ahead and start to draw here on the web. I can just simply click, and then, like, for example, let's go ahead and circle Sean Penn's face here. So we'll go ahead and circle that there. You can obviously like point to things here. So if you're trying to show somebody something or just, highlight information. So let's say this information role right here is important and I want to remember that. So I can highlight this piece of an article. Really great for research or if you're gathering data on something. Obviously this is much more mess here, but you get the point. I can do all this. I can erase it. I can add type notes. And I can even clip a portion of the web. So this is really great too. So you can drag to copy a region. So let's say I really like this portion right here. I just want to drag that. I now have copied that, and I have the ability to also, you can see, save the whole web node. So I can save everything I've annotated. Of course, this isn't obviously altering the web page itself. It's acting as a layer over the web page. And then I can save that web node. I can share it. I can store it for later. It's making the web your canvas and allowing you to essentially, annotate it as you please. And you can also share this out, of course, too. So if I click the share button, I can mail it to somebody, put it on Twitter. A great way to highlight a specific part of an article, a great way to gather information about something, and just, really highlight what's key to you in an article or picture, or just, doodle on a web page for, whatever purposes. So that is the new kind of web note feature within Edge browser here and within Windows 10. That also being said, you also have a couple other things. You have the ability, like I said, that reading list that I mentioned. This is a really useful thing in the sense that it syncs across for your account. So this allows you to take your reading with you. So this gives you a place where you can easily see articles. So let's say, again, I wanted to read this later, this page that I'm on right now. What I can do is I can actually add this right here, this icon right here. I can go into reading view. And reading view, as you see, will give me a really clean, minimal look at this article. It cuts out all the advertisements on the side. It cuts out all the web elements, and it just gives me what I want to see here. Really, really great here. So this is the reading view to really focus in on what I want to read. But again, like I said, I can just go ahead and add something to my reading list. So if I want to go ahead and add this to my reading list, then I just click on the star button right here, and then I click on reading list, and then I add this here. And then from there, anytime I want to come back to it, if I'm somewhere else on the web, I can just go ahead and click back on this menu right here and then jump to this, and it'll take me back to this article. You can read with your distractions in the reading view, and again, the reading list allows you to keep track of all the things that you need to catch up on as you go. And keeping in mind that all of this obviously syncs. So if you're using other Windows 10 devices, you're logging in on the same Microsoft account, you're going to see that across the web. Also, a big thing with Cortana. Cortana is your new virtual assistant. All of that is integrated within the Edge browser, so you have certain commands with Cortana if you enable those. We're going to talk more about that in the Cortana video and how that can really help you out. So, for example, you can get directions. You can ask Cortana specific questions related around web elements. So all of that is very, very useful. And last but not least, the search bar when it comes to Edge is your friend here. So here is a new tab page. This is a great way to see your newsfeed. You can also see, top sites that you may visit, so shortcuts. But keep in mind this search bar here, while you can use it to go, of course, to like google.com or, New York Times or whatever website you may be browsing, you can also do some general searches. So for example, if I want to know the weather in New York, I can just type that in, and without having to hit enter, automatically I'm getting results right here. So I get to, at a quick glance, I can search something and then not even have to hit enter. I just get a quick answer from the actual Edge browser. So think of that URL bar as more than just a place to navigate to websites. You can ask it general questions. You can even do, for example, let's do a math equation like 554 plus 294, and automatically I get the results here. So it's a great way to get quick access to information or any specific question that you may have. And then for more details, you can obviously go into the search results. So that is, again, the Edge browser. You have the ability to adjust your settings right here as well. Keep that in mind. You can get real in depth with everything. You can go for the dark theme. This is something I really personally prefer as well. You can determine what page gets started when you open up a new browser window. You can determine, for example, what happens when you open new tabs. All of this stuff can be adjusted here. You even have an advanced settings list, which is really useful as well to adjust certain privacy settings, so on and so forth, or your default search address bar. So if you don't want Bing, you can set it to Google or what have you. The Edge browser, the all-new browser within Windows 10. Again, don't worry, Internet Explorer is still there in a capacity. You can still access that if that's what you're used to, or install any other third-party browser if that's what you want to do. This is just a great way to get used to the new Edge browser and take advantage of it if you are going to start using this by default. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to check out the future videos for more on Windows 10, and thanks for watching.